For hours, people around Earth watched in silence as bright, unfamiliar lights appeared over the horizon. At first, many thought it was some new kind of satellite or a strange meteor shower. But the truth became clear quickly. This was not a friendly visit. The fleet of the Jar Dominion stretched across the stars like a moving storm. Their ships were huge, black, and sharp-edged. The largest of them all was their flagship, a floating fortress larger than any city on Earth. Its glowing engines lit up the night sky, casting an eerie light on the clouds. Inside that flagship, the alien commander High Lord Krex watched Earth on his screen with cold amusement. His golden eyes narrowed as he examined the planet's defenses. "Primitive," he said with a low laugh. His voice sounded like metal scraping stone. "They use gunpowder, bullets, slow projectiles. No shield technology," one of his officers added. Krex leaned back on his black throne. "This will not be a war," he said. "This will be a demonstration." The hidden command far below, under the Rocky Mountains in a secret military base, Earth's leaders gathered in a room glowing with maps and screens. General Aaron Carter, a tall man with silver hair and a calm face, stood at the center of the command table. "They've parked their flagship right over our heads," said Commander Vega, pointing at the red dot on the map. "They're treating us like insects." Carter didn't smile. He had seen wars before, human wars. But this was different. Earth had never faced something this big. "They think we're weak," Carter said slowly. "Good. That gives us an opening." Around the room, officers whispered to each other. The aliens had stronger weapons. Their ships could wipe out cities. Their technology was decades, maybe centuries ahead. But Carter wasn't looking at their firepower. He was looking at their confidence. The laughing aliens on the alien flagship. Krex gave a speech to his crew. "These creatures call themselves humans," he said, as holograms of Earth cities floated around him. "They build machines from iron and oil. They burn chemicals for power. They still use missiles. The room filled with laughter. Alien officers banged their claws on the table. To them, it was not even a battle worth fighting. It was a hunt. "They will bow or burn," Krex declared. "Prepare the cleansing beam." His officers moved with perfect robotic precision. They had done this many times to many worlds. No world had ever resisted the Jar Dominion, but they had never fought humans before. Project Spearpoint back on Earth, Carter stood in front of a huge steel door. A red light scanned his face and the door opened with a hiss. Inside was a dark hangar filled with old satellites, huge metal rods, and large launch systems that hadn't been used in years. "Is it ready?" Carter asked. Vega nodded. "Project Spearpoint is fully operational. We've kept it hidden for 30 years. Spearpoint wasn't a laser or a beam weapon. It was something simpler and far deadlier. It was a system designed to drop tungsten rods from orbit at incredible speed. No explosions, no fancy tech, just gravity and physics. "They have shield," said a young officer nervously. "Won't they block the rods?" Carter gave a thin smile. "Their shields are built for energy weapons, plasma, lasers, particle beams. Not for real solid metal moving at Mach 10. He looked at the screen showing the alien flagship. "Let them laugh." The first warning. The aliens began to broadcast a message on all human frequencies. A deep, cold voice echoed around the world. "Humans of Earth, you are now part of the Jar Dominion. Lay down your weapons, kneel, and you may be allowed to serve. Resist, and you will be erased." Cities fell into silence. Crowds gathered in streets, staring at the massive shadow above the clouds. Some cried. Some prayed. But in the underground command center, Carter and Vega stared at the screen without fear. "Commander Vega," Carter said, "begin Phase 1. The launch in orbit, hidden among the countless pieces of old space junk, Spearpoint came to life. Silent satellites powered up. Targeting systems locked onto the alien flagship. Krex was still laughing in his throne when one of his officers frowned. "Sir," the alien officer said, "our sensors are detecting small objects." "How small?" Krex asked. "Barely noticeable." "Primitive satellites, harmless," Krex waved his claw. "Ignore them." The alien fleet's sensors were built to detect large energy signatures, not small pieces of metal falling from space. That was their first mistake. Death from above. A few seconds later, the first tungsten rod entered the atmosphere. It didn't glow like a missile. It didn't scream like a jet. It moved so fast that even air couldn't make a sound in time. The rod punched straight through the alien flagship's upper shield. The shield flared for a millisecond, then shattered. The rod continued down, piercing layer after layer of armor until it hit the main power core. For one brief moment, the flagship, the proud jewel of the Jar Dominion, shook like a leaf in a storm. And then it exploded. A blinding flash lit up the sky. The explosion ripped through the air like a second sun. Pieces of alien metal burned as they fell through the clouds. Millions of people on the surface gasped. The ship that looked like a god in the sky was now just fire and falling debris. Panic in the fleet on the alien bridge. Alarms screamed in a language no human could understand. Krex was thrown to the floor as the deck cracked beneath him. He tried to shout orders, but the communication lines were gone. The control systems were dead. "Where is the attack coming from?" he roared. "Unknown," his officers shouted. "No energy signatures." "Shields failed. Hull breach." Krex looked at the burning sky through the shattered view window. He saw the Earth below. This was not how it was supposed to go. They were supposed to be weak, he whispered. Humanity strikes back in the command room. Cheers filled the air. Officers hugged each other. Commander Vega punched the table in triumph. "It worked," she shouted. "The flagship is down." Carter didn't smile, but his eyes burned with cold pride. "Phase 2, he said. On the map, new red markers appeared, smaller alien ships circling Earth. With their flagship gone, their fleet had no leader. No central AI. Human hackers and pilots moved in quickly. Fighter jets launched from secret bases. Old satellites turned into signal jammers. Drones carried EMP bursts. The aliens' perfect coordination began to fall apart. The message to the stars across the galaxy: the Jar Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds. But they had never lost a flagship. Now the news spread like wildfire through their networks. A primitive world had destroyed a war fortress. Krex, coughing and wounded, crawled through the broken bridge. Smoke filled the air. His golden armor was cracked. His eyes burned with disbelief. "How?" he whispered. "How could they?" He looked at the metal hole that pierced his ship. No energy burn. No plasma signature. Just a clean, brutal impact. Humans had not out-teched them. They had outthought them. A planet that would not kneel on Earth, Carter walked out of the command room and stood under the night sky. Above him, burning pieces of the alien flagship streaked like falling stars. People were cheering in the streets now. Fear had turned into hope. Commander Vega joined him. "We just made history," she said softly. "No," Carter replied. "We just made a statement." "What kind of statement?" He looked at the stars with a hard, proud stare. "That humanity bows to no one." The retreat in space, the alien fleet scrambled. Without the flagship, their command structure was in chaos. Human ships, though weaker, moved fast. They struck supply ships. They jammed communications.